Welcome back everyone, this is Hide on the Rise, and today I wanted to share with you my thoughts and concerns about the new season's change, the upcoming new seasons that's released on live server on Tuesday 9 of January, so I'm really excited about that, but I wanted to share with you as well what I think about the new builds and the new items for the Blue Boy and for Rise. So yeah, just a quick video. I have nothing really planned, but just sharing my thought process while going through the items and the stuff and what I'm scared of and what I actually like. So the first thing in terms of remove the items, without even looking at the new items, we'll just go over the remove the items first. Is that Everfrost and Crown disappear, Luden as well. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. But from what I've seen so far, the Everfrost effect and the Crown effects are not replaced by any of the new items, by any of the new mage items, and that's really something that concerns me quite a lot, especially for the Everfrost. And let me explain. So, the Everfrost was something that was really useful for Ryze in certain situations, especially the ones where the enemy teams had like a lot of mobility. So if you're playing against Katrina, Master Yi, Udyr, or Garen as well, those kind of champions that are really fast and that have really a nice mobility that you cannot really deal with as Ryze. I mean, what you can do when a Garen is running at you like straight up, you can EW him obviously and lock him down. But to be honest, our CC duration alone is not sufficient. It's a point and click, so that's why it's not that long. That's why Ryze is designed as it is, because it's a point and click champion. So every spells he has cannot be cannot have a huge effect. However, these days, and I don't know what you guys think about it, I would be really interested to hear your thought about it. But these days, all the champions have so much mobility that even though they need to hit their spells, it's easier for them, or it's as easy for them to hit their spells than us. And also we need to remember that our Q is also a skill shot, so it's not a point and click. So we are in the same situation as most of the champions. So for instance, Orianna W. Orianna is a skill shot based champion. However, with all the new runes, the phase rush, but also the move speed she gets from either the items or the W, that she can speed up herself with W, she has a much she has an easy time to land her skill shot. Same for the Q. I have the feeling, guys, that the Q of Orianna is much easier to land than the Q of Ryze, and that's not really normal, because the Q of Orianna is an AoE spell, so it can deal damage in AoE to multiple persons, and also combined with the W it can slow, and combined with the R it can CC in AoE everyone. So Orianna is a really really strong champion in my opinion, and when you compare her to Ryze, if you start, Ryze needs to actually hit his Q spell. It's not an AoE spell, and yes, it procs onto the E, but we need then people to be packed for the E to work, and the zone for the E to work to be packed is much smaller than the Orianna's hair, for instance, R, for instance. So if we start removing some tools that Ryze was really using, such as Everfrost, so sometimes you wanted to lock down someone, you just EWQ that person, then you wait the last second. So you need to be really precise with your timing as well. You needed to like wait for the last second of the W to disappear to then proc the Everfrost to keep your rotation up. And even with that, we were not able to one-shot or kill those kind of champions that were chasing us, such as Garen, Udyr, or Kayn, those kind of champion. It was just an escape tool, and that was really really good, especially while silencing. So I'm really concerned about that being removed from the game, that item being removed from the game, because this day I was using it like quite a lot, to be honest, especially in side lane. And because the meta is like that, a lot of champions are not really mobile, and I need this item to survive basically. So yeah, let's look at the items later on. Crown, I'm less concerned about removing Crown, and the reason being is that this item sucked in terms of DPS. So if you build crown, you generally don't have any damage. And yeah, and for AP assassin, I would prefer go Banshee instead, or Zonia. So stopwatch is disappearing, but that's fine. To me, the stopwatch and the Zonia situation. So removing stopwatch and only having the Zonia's the stopwatch effect onto the final completed item Zonia, for me it's fine. I mean, you always felt frustrated when you like bought the stopwatch, you were using it in the team fight, and then you don't have it anymore. You felt like really weak, so I really didn't like that situation anyway. Until you completed your item, it was a bit weird. We were in a bit weird spot. I don't like it, so I'm really happy about that change. And the crown, so it was a bit of the same thing. The crown can actually be replaced in your itemization by Zonia and Banshee. So, and if you really need to survive, you can just go, for AD Assassin. You can go Frozen Hearts. You have some options, right? So, I'm completely fine with this. Gargoyle, I will miss it because I really liked the tank Ryze version that existed for quite some time. You were building Lucidity Boots, Road of Ages, Seraph, and then you would go, Gargoyles, Frozen Heart, Zonia, and you were really, really tanky. You don't have a lot of damage. You have like only 200 AP full build, but you were really, really tanky with a lot of shields, and you could actually process and put down a lot of spells rotation. So instead of, let's say, going for 2 or 3 rotations before dying in a team fight, you will actually do 6 or 7, which would compensate your damage over time, and even sometimes deal more damage if the team fight is really extended. So if you are facing a lot of tanks, the tank Ryze build was really, really good. So now let's go on the mage items that are releasing for us, and that's where my concerns are. So Luden also was removed from the game, but they have added a new item called Storm Surge. To me, this is a Luden-like. Without going into details, if we go to Storm Surge quickly, it provides mobility and yeah, it is said that it's good on Oriana and Ryze, but that's because it's a Luden-like. You will basically so let's actually look at, can we get those items in details? Alright, so Storm Surge, the effect is here, but basically it will give you like a lot of AP, some magic pen, movement speed as well, and if you manage to deal 35% of a champion's maximum health within 3 seconds, so it's really useful against for like burst champions and squishy champions. So if you hit them a lot and burst them down, it will actually provide you with a bit of boost of movement speed as well as additional damage to the target. So yeah, this could be good for champions that use mobility a lot, such as Ryze. But the thing I don't like is that we are forced for a couple of seasons now to play Phase Rush. Without Phase Rush, to be honest, our champion really lacks a lot of mobility, and I don't like having to build an item only because it works with our mastery and our runes being Phase Rush. I don't like that. I think that we should get a bit more movement speed in Ryze E when I have a real problem with the double EQ Ryze combo, so charging the runes. I think this is really, really useless. I think there is a problem around that in our champion. I really don't like it. You mostly, I mean, most likely than not, you will never ever use that combo, except in laning phase when you want to set up a gank, but it's really situational, and the movement speed buff that it gets you is not worth the time and the damage output you're losing, basically. So yeah, I have a problem with Phase Rush. This rune is really OP, but at the same time, it shouldn't be necessary for our champion to be played. So yeah, whatever. But Storm Surge, okay, it's a good item. Let's say it will replace sort of Luden's because Luden is not there anymore and there are not no mythics left. So let's say that's for time being that Storm Surge could be worth playing and replace Luden. So that will be maybe built as a first item. First item would be Storm Surge if you want to go full glass cannon build. We cannot use and we cannot build Malignus because we don't have ultimate. So first of all, that's an item we should completely avoid, and I don't like that, right? Haunting guys, it's quite similar. We don't really need it. We are not building Liandry. We were not building Liandry anyway, so this is not really useful for us. So this item can clearly be forget about it. Crypto Bloom, I don't understand that this item. I think this item should be reworked or removed from the game. I don't know why mages should be healing. I think we have already too much heal and too much shield in the game with all the enchanter supports. I think these items will be, if you want my honest opinion, I think this item will be removed from the game or at least reworked after a couple of weeks when the seasons will start. And Caster Companion is actually really good as an item, in my opinion. When you look at the stats of this item, let's look at it. Yeah, Caster Companion. It's really good. Ability haste, mana, AP, everything we need. And also it grants us like a shot, so a short charge such as a static shift, something like that. And we can basically, when we burst one person, we will get additional bonus damage and bonus AP. So it's sort of like Luden's. So I really like that item, and every single mages and every single AP champions will like that item because it's a really bursty item. Yeah, this item is really good. So it actually, for me, this one is the one that replaces Luden's, whereas the other one we just so the Storm Surge would replace sort of let's say Shadow Flame, or it's a mix of Shadow Flame but also Cosmic Drive, I guess. Is Cosmic Drive removed? No, Cosmic Drive is not removed, but I don't like that item anyway. So yeah, it's a bit better than Cosmic Drive. And yeah, so I guess the first item, thinking about it, my first item, if I want to carry, especially in low game where you want to get a lot of damage, I will go Caster Companions first, as first item. And maybe I will go for Storm Surge. But we can't, because the problem is we need Seraph as Ryze. Seraph is mandatory, right? So yeah, those two items are the only ones we can use, but we are limited because we need to build Seraph, and Seraph is not removed from the game. So yeah, so first item will be Caster Companion. Second one will be Seraph. Third item will be either Death Cap right away or Storm Surge. Storm Surge, I guess. And then you will go get Death Cap as a fourth item, and Void Staff most likely as a final item if people start building Magic Resist. So now, what about my concerns? My concerns are that, for instance, let's say I'm playing Orianna or Syndra. I will build, or Wei, for instance, those mages that are really, really strong already. I would build Caster Companions as a first item, Storm Surge as a second, Death Cap as a third, and just imagine the amount of damage and mobility these champions will have. I'm telling you, it will be a mage meta. It will be a full AP one-shot mage meta, and as we are forced to first of all get the phase rush runes, so not damage runes. Then we're forced to build Seraph. Then we cannot use Malignance because those champions will get also Malignance. So they will get, and they can build all of them. So for instance, Anivia can build Malignance, Caster Companion, Storm Surge, and go full AP one-shot build. It's crazy. Whereas we have limited options. We have Storm Surge and Caster's Companion, while Orianna can build both. She doesn't even have the mana issues that we get, and our passive scales on our mana as well. So yeah, that's the problem with Ryze. Ryze is in a really tough spot and really difficult to adapt and rework. But yeah, we'll see. I will of course test out and try out different builds. I was thinking about tanky items and go tank basically with all the agents and even Trailblazer basically just going straight tanky Ryze build in the beginning of the season, with dot and damage on and yeah, damage over time. So I'm thinking about it as well, just to see whether or not we need to survive to those mages. And also, by the way, I forgot, but we also need to build Zonia. Zonia is necessary on Rise. So yeah, for sure, we won't be able to build both Caster's Companion and Storm Surge. We'll need to choose one of the two, and we will not be able to accumulate both. While Oriana and a lot of mages basically will be able to do so. So that's why I'm a bit concerned and a little bit sad, but we'll see what will happen in the next season once the patch is released on live server. I will definitely try out a lot of builds and a lot of items, and tell you guys which builds are the best onto the blue boil. Also, Cosmic Drive got reworked, and I've looked at the rework. It's not enough to be played as Ryze, so this item is also out of the question for us. Rod of Ages, same. I really don't like that item. I think the level things and the experience is a bit weird. I think we should rework that item, remove that level buff, and instead increase the scaling stats. It's better, especially for late game. But yeah, that's another question. Whatever. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I haven't prepared anything. It was a really quick video, just sharing my small thought before the seasons. But I will release even more content as of next week, so keep it connected. Please, if you like it, subscribe and like. It really helps me out and encourages me to produce more content for you. And see you later.